Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin and today it is time for the November Palette of Shame collaboration. This collab is hosted by Makeup in the Mundane and Dub's Beauty Diary, and every month there is a prompt of a palette that is in our pile of shame. Someone in the groups that we do a palette bingo using a random number generator to come up with a look for these palettes. So if that sounds good to you, keep on watching. Before you get too far into the video, if you have not already, I would love it if you consider subscribing. I upload videos twice a week. It is totally free to subscribe, and I would love to have you back again on the channel for all things makeup. So this month we are using the Snow Angel palette from Simply Posh. I believe we get to choose from either this or the Something Sport from ColourPop. I don't have that, so I used this one. It was nice that we got a choice because I feel like usually it's just like you get one choice and you either have to dupe it if you don't have it or use that palette. And I did have this month's palette. I haven't used this one a ton, so it was a good opportunity for me to bring it out again and create this look. So let's go ahead and get into the random number generator. I will show you the shades and then how I got this look. All right, so I've got a local community theater production I'm going to. Hunchback of Notre Dame is being performed nearby where I lived and my husband and I are going. So hopefully this is not too crazy because I've got that followed by choir practice for the community choir that I'm in. So, you know, we're going out in public. So let's see what we get. I've got 1 through 18 here and the first shade is 9. So the first shade is Snowflake. I'm not mad about that at all. This is like a really nice duochrome shimmer. I don't even know if you can see it because it's such a like translucent base, but it's like a green to a pinky, I think, maybe blue. Hard to describe. I'm gonna do 5 shades. Number 13's next. So I'm glad to get at least a matte. We'll see if I get more mattes than shimmers, but after last month getting all mattes, I'm happy to have both a matte and a shimmer so far. Next up is number 18. That is shade Winter Wonder, which is another of the deeper mattes in the palette. Number 10 for our 4th shade, which is the shade Angel. I've never used this shade before. It's more of a purple with maybe some silver in it. That's really pretty. And the final shade is shade number 7, which is Sparkling Snow. Okay, so we've got a lot of shimmers here and not a lot of mattes to play with. I might cheat a little and add a matte just because I like to start with a lighter matte in my transition like crease area of my eye to build off of, and we didn't get something like that. I'll still use all of these, but I think I'm gonna, like I said, maybe cheat a little bit just because I feel like it helps to set the eyeshadow primer because I always use eyeshadow primer. I'm using the Milani Stay Put eyeshadow primer right now. There's a lot of them that I like. I've used the Urban Decay one, Wet n Wild, Ulta brand. They're all fine. This is just what I got most recently. That was the cheapest when I was at Ulta. I was using a ColourPop one right before this. So I'm going to go in with a fluffy brush and I'm going to use Snow Blanket, which is, again, a little bit of a cheating shade. Not one we drew, but just one to give me a little bit of a transition shade in the crease and to set the eyeshadow primer a bit here. So bonus shade number 6 of my choosing. Normally I would just make it work with the color story even if it didn't turn out the way I want, but I hope you will forgive me since, like I said, I am going out places and seeing people I know. I want this to turn out well. Okay, I'm gonna go with Frozen Lake in the outer corner. This is just like a gray color. Like maybe it's got a little bit of a bluey green undertone, but for the most part, I think it just looks gray. I've got a white and blue striped shirt on, so I feel like this kind of goes with the vibes. A little like wintry, snowy, maybe cool tone with the gray in there. Okay, with a flat brush, I'm going to start with Angel just because I think it's the deepest of the shimmers, and I think one of these is going to end up going on the inner corner. So Angel's gonna go first. And a lot of these shimmers are more like translucent base, so I feel like you can get away with like layering more of them or overlapping them, and it's not gonna look like muddy or weird when you try to like blend the edge of two shimmers together, because they are more of just like a sparkly twinkly topper with more of an opaque base. And I'm gonna put Snowflake as the other one on the lid on the inner corner and do the Snow Drift as the inner corner. That's what I've decided here. I feel like overall this palette gets more light looks than dark looks, but you definitely could go darker if you used like the bottom row of mattes versus the top row of mattes. It's a little bit more muted. Borderline pastel, but I would say muted more than pastel if I had to describe them. And then I'm going to use the shade Winter Wonder as liner, because that's like, I think maybe the deepest, darkest shade in the palette, which you could definitely use to like darken up the outer corner if you wanted to, but for me, I think it's going to be the perfect little shadow liner. These mattes are pretty powdery, like more so than I remembered them being. They're pigmented, but just watch out because I am getting some fallout. Granted, I'm being kind of messy and quick, I will say, but I'm getting both sparkles and matte fallout underneath the eye, which is not exactly what I want. And that was so pigmented that I ended up like winging it out way more than I probably would have, but it's fine. It's fine. And like I said, I'm gonna go in with a smaller brush for Snowdrift for the inner corner here. And these shimmers, if you're curious, are more of like the squishy putty kind of formula. I like that kind of formula. I know some people really do not, but this is gonna get, unless you do your eyes first, sparkles and glitter like all over your face. So just be prepared for that. It doesn't bother me so much, but I know some people it does. And then I think I'm gonna go back in with that bonus 6 shade one more time, just to kind of underneath the eyes here, put a little something. Yeah, just a little something like that. I'm gonna go ahead and do mascara and some kind of lip, and I'll be back to show you the final look. And here is the final look. I just added a cheapy little Essence mascara, cheap but good. This is the Get Big Lashes Volume Curl Mascara, and an Essence Hello Wow Dewy Lip Shine. I picked this because it's got kind of that like pinky berry undertone, but it's got that same kind of like bluey green sparkle in it that I felt like would pull out the kind of iridescent look of the eye. What do we think? It's like a light, simple look, but I like it. I kind of felt like I said, no matter what the palette bingo gods pulled for me, I could get something kind of light like this if I wanted it. Good news with this lip gloss, I have now used it enough that I'm gonna have to take out the stopper to get the rest of it, which is exciting because part of the bingo of shame, the point of it is to use what you have, use things up. So yeah, I felt like that just worked and went along with the theme of what this video is all about. So thanks so much if you made it all the way to the end. I appreciate you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next one. Bye!